Welcome Seneca Valley, and welcome to the last episode of the Seneca Scout for this school year. I'm Illy.
And I'm Maddie.
We have a very special final episode today, jam-packed full of stories and different anchors, so let's get straight into it.
We had originally planned on recording this episode on January 17th, but with the cold weather and virtual days, we were unable to do so. Though some of the stories may be a little old now, we still wanted to pull together one last show. 2 weeks ago, the Seneca Valley's girls wrestling team had a packed schedule with 3 matches. Starting the week off strong, the team placed 8th out of 24 teams on Saturday, January 11th at the Blue Devils Girl Winter Classic at Mount Lebanon. Maddie Fisher secured first place overall with winning by pin in every match she wrestled. Hannah Hornick won 3rd place, while Kenley Alexander and Carlin Sadar won 6th place. Monday, the team wrestled at home against Plum, finalizing the score. Adeline Shee Calabro was the only Seneca Valley wrestler to win her match with a score of 15-1. Maddie Fisher and Carlin Sadar both were able to score points. Since then, the wrestling team has held its senior night and will be getting close to the end of the season in the coming weeks.
2 Mondays ago, the Seneca Valley Raiders JV2 hockey team took on North Hills at Barrel Ice Complex at 9:50 p.m., previously tying each other 0-0. Earlier in the season, this game was sure to not disappoint. Both teams started the game very well and very even with each other until about the second period when alternate captain Jack Hamaki netted one to make the game 1-0. The rest of the game was played in North Hills zone, but their goaltender held strong, stopping 17 out of 18 shots. But ultimately, Seneca won the game with 1-0 for their final win in a row, second win in a row. Way to go, Raiders. And now we hear from Gavin Dalton on his recap on the Raiders hockey victory in the Christmas tournament.
Hello, I'm Gavin Dalton, and I will be going over the Seneca Valley Hockey Raiders' victory in the Scholastic Showcase tournament that took place over Christmas break. Now, there's a few reasons why this is important to the organization. One is because this was the first time Seneca has beat NA at the JV level in 4.5 years. 2, it was the best tournament we played all year as we went undefeated, and we only had 5 goals against. And now we hear from Marcus Stewart, who had the game-winning goal in the semifinals.
My name's Marcus. I scored the game-winning goal in the semifinals of our tournament, and it felt pretty good. I didn't really know it went in until after the ref blew his arm, because it just barely squeaked in. But it felt pretty good to score the goal and to take our team to the finals.
Another reason this tournament was important to Seneca was because the last time they won it was in 2015, making it a decade since they last hoisted the trophy. Another reason is that both JV and varsity won their tournaments. JV won the tournament in regulation, 3-1 against North Allegheny, and varsity against Thomas Jefferson after double overtime and a 6-round shootout. Thanks for listening to my recap on the Seneca Valley Scholastic Showcase, and go Raiders!
Now we go to a tragic local story. 2 people are dead, 2 were injured in a shooting in Beaver County Sunday night. The shooting happened around 8:30 on Schaefer Road, where police were on the scene all night. On Monday, January 12th, it was revealed that this was an apparent triple murder-suicide. Mother Michelle Hunt and father Clifford Hunt were dead on the scene, and 2 sons were also shot and airlifted to a nearby hospital and later died. It was revealed that their 19-year-old son, Clifford Hunt Jr., was the shooter. Jennifer Lanham works nearby where the incident happened, was told by the police to close the store for caution. She says, quote, "It's really scary. It's really hard to wrap your head around something like this. I mean, because that's a small homicide, or multiple homicide in a small town," end quote. News to Weekly detectives and police are investigating the situation in this deadly incident.
With their successful winter concerts, the Seneca Valley Orchestra is starting to prepare for their spring concert season and upcoming trip to Disney. Let's check in with Morgan Clay for a deeper look.
My name is Morgan Clay with the Seneca Scout, and I'm reporting to you on Seneca Valley Orchestra. The Seneca Valley 9 to 12 Orchestra program is made up of 2 main orchestras: High School String Orchestra and an audition-based group called Chamber Orchestra. High School Orchestra has class every day 9th period in the IHS band room. Chamber Orchestra has class every day 8th period in the IHS band room. Before winter break, the school hosted a senior lunch, and at the senior lunch, the Chamber Orchestra got to perform for them. November 18th, both orchestras had their winter concert. The string orchestra played a variety of pieces, such as the Balkan Dances movement, which included 5 different songs that all display a different style of emotions. Arlington sketches in the Midwinter, which was conducted by Zoe Shulo and was her senior project. St. Anne's Reel, which is a piece that they didn't have any sheet music for and had to learn it by ear during rehearsal. The orchestra played the pieces Red Rhythmico, Schneider's List, Allegretto, and Sleigh Ride. At the concert, there was also a bass quartet and a normal quartet, which both consist of 4 different musicians, all playing different parts. Even if some of these orchestras are considered more advanced, they all teach the basics of learning how to sight read music, learning different notes and rhythms, and how to become a better musician overall. Let's check in with students Christy Comstock, Naima Sarver, their experience in orchestra and how it's affected their life.
I was inspired to join orchestra because music has always been a part of my life growing up, so I just thought that it'd be awesome to recreate it on my own.
Inspired me to join orchestra was like in the 4th grade, whenever we had to like pick an instrument. My sister played the violin, so my parents like, you should play a string instrument. And I was like, okay, I will. And I wanted to do the bass, but they were like, it's too big. So I picked the cello, and I've just been going ever since then.
I had the most fun playing Charlie Brown Christmas because we had a percussionist playing along with us, and it was just really cool to experience that along with the sound of strings.
My favorite piece was, it was either 7th grade or 8th grade. It was Storm the Castle, and it was so fun because it was so upbeat, so motivating. It was very like dark fantasy kind of like. It was just so cool.
The amazing teacher that helps these orchestras learn their songs is Miss Miller. Let's hear more from her about her years teaching orchestra.
I had a really wonderful orchestra teacher in high school who I was very close with and who supported me a lot in my academics as well as socially. So that was part of the reason I decided to become an orchestra teacher. I also really enjoyed playing the violin, and I had a lot of opportunities because of playing the violin in high school. My favorite trip we've been on is our trip to Nashville.
Students in orchestra say that Mrs. Miller is an amazing teacher and helps them learn so much about music. Last year, the orchestra took their trip to Myrtle Beach. This year, the orchestra is going to Disney. Orchestras have their spring concert on May 1st. Make sure to stop by and support these amazing musicians.
My name is Morgan Clay with the Seneca Scout.
Keep reading. To close off our stories, after the new administration took office, many students are concerned about the effect this change may have on their life as high schoolers and moving forward. We interviewed several SB students, their input, as well as AP Government and Politics teacher, Mr. James Lucott. Here's them.
With the new administration taking power in just 3 days, it is important to look at the effects this new administration will have on high school students, both in high school and moving forward for our post-secondary lives. I interviewed AP U.S. Government and Politics teacher Mr. James Luco, as well as several SV students for their inputs on this matter. Let's hear from Mr. Luco first.
There's never been an election like this in my career, 25 years. Nothing close. I don't know. I mean, there's no historical precedent for this, but the impacts I think it would have on students would be, number one, cutting the Department of Education. So there's going to be direct repercussions from that. I don't know what they would be. I have no idea. There's just no historical comparisons I can go to in other presidential administrations to try to make conclusions. I don't know what this will be. He supports prayer in school. I imagine class sizes will get bigger. I told you there's a federal law that we have to talk about, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and Constitution. That's a federal law. I imagine there's going to be more of those. I don't know what it will entail, but there might be things that we are going to have to do mandatorily. Michelle Obama cut the total caloric amount of your lunches, and I'm making a joke, but I don't have any idea what federal mandates are going to come in the next 4 years that we're going to have to do in class.
This new administration would likely spell the end for the Department of Education, which is responsible for the FAFSA and other federal student loans.
As a senior applying to colleges and especially finance aid, I'm a little bit worried about what he has to say.
Thank you, Gavin and Jake. To wrap up our final couple stories for this episode, let's take a look at some more of the local stories and interviews.
As the end of the first semester wraps up, one of Seneca Valley's newest classes, Fashion Design and Merchandising, is focusing on their final projects. Using their knowledge they learned in class, they must create 8 different outfits based on one of the fashion capitals in the world and pick a decade to influence their fashion designs. Students must use their knowledge of color, patterns, material, and shapes to create each design. Their designs must be organized into a window display as if their designs were picked up by a major fashion company. Let's hear from some of the students about the project.
So our final project for the fashion design and merchandising class is to pick a specific fashion capital of the world, so for example New York, and then select a decade and create 8 individual outfits, and then use bits and pieces of those outfits to create a window display.
Friday, January 10th, the Zelienople mini market was robbed. Last Friday, a woman with a firearm walked into the convenience store and demanded the employee to give her money. The employee agreed, and then the woman reportedly walked out with about $2,300 taken from the cashier and the skill machines. Through security camera footage, the woman was identified as 45-year-old Andrea Carney. Carney attempted to escape Pittsburgh, but was caught by a license plate reader and is now in the Butler County Jail facing felony charges. Now let's hear from Tori Hawkins, who works at a different gas station nearby.
It's very, I thought it was a very safe community with cameras everywhere. Fortunately, they did catch her, but nothing was brought out on the news until the day she was arrested. I think that the community should have been made aware that this happened the day that it happened.
This incident is unusual for Zelienople, as it is typically known for being a small, quiet town.
Speaking of Zelienople, last Friday, Harmony, PA welcomed the grand opening of our first Taco Bell a few minutes from Zelienople. With it being just a 4-minute drive from our school, many students have been excited about its opening since rumors of the food chain coming to Harmony began. Let's hear more about the latest addition of fast food to our community.
When I heard there's a Taco Bell opening where I don't have to drive 30 minutes to get the food that I love, the food that I hope to eat almost every single day, I jumped for joy.
I feel really excited about the new Taco Bell opening because it's so close to the school and I'm tired of eating Burger King after all my activities. Yeah, I think it's way more convenient to go to this Taco Bell, and I think the little plaza is so cute and that the construction needs to end quicker so all of it can be running because it's super exciting.
I personally have not been to the new Taco Bell. I did have my friend Ayla Alexander drive to the Taco Bell though with her mom to get me Taco Bell because I had to stay and work on my ingenuity.
I think having a Taco Bell really close to the school could cost a lot of students a lot of money because they might be tempted to go get a meal that they could have maybe run home and grabbed a sandwich, but if they have something that they need to do and get food really quickly, I think it'll be beneficial.
I go to the Burger King quite frequently because on Mondays I often have rehearsal until 5 o'clock for musical or whatever, and then I have madrigal rehearsal starting at 6, so I have an hour to get food, and it's just a little bit closer, more convenient.
It's a safe environment here, nice, clean. The food, look at that.
Am I excited for the new Taco Bell? I really am. It's about time there's a little more fast food around here.
I would describe myself as an item on the menu as the Crunchwrap Supreme because it's perfect.
Describe the feel of Taco Bell as very laid back, but it's very clean and it's going to get a lot of business because again, there aren't a lot of things around here.
Seneca Valley has multiple different types of styles in our district, so let's take a look at the package of where students find their different styles.
I love thrifting because that's where I can find my style, and I like finding old sweaters, and thrifting is where I can find old sweaters because it's hand-me-downs and there's a lot of style to it.
I like going to thrift stores because I like being able to choose the different variety because there is the mix of people giving away, and I also like being able to pick out older pieces, different styles of pieces, different genres of pieces, and there's a lot more variety at a thrift store because it's a lot more different people.
I go to Goodwill, I go to Plato's Closet, I go mainly just those.
For me, thrifting, because the clothes are so cheap, it's definitely
encourage me to try like different styles and different things to do with clothes.
Finding a certain style shows like who I am as a person and like what I'm like as opposed to what my mom gets me, so yeah.
I like the cool styles you can get out of it and it's cheaper. Just, I don't know, expressing who I am, I guess.
I like choosing clothes from different time periods, and a lot of those clothes aren't available in current stores with new fast fashion like trends.
I think thrifting is a great way to still keep up with trends and be fashionable and experiment, but not wreck the environment.
Yeah, 100%. I think that there's really some dangerous working conditions out there. So if you can buy something more sustainably and get more of a use out of something instead of it being in a landfill, that's definitely very important to me.
I thrifted my shirt and I thrifted my sweatpants.
For our final story, here at Seneca Valley, the group of students that take this class are not just learning the basics of journalism, we are creating our own news. This is Seneca Valley CHS video production broadcasting class, where the next generation of reporters, producers, and videographers are getting hands-on experience in all kinds of media, from behind the camera to in front. All students can cover school events, tell important stories, and learn the art of communication. In real-world news, let's take a deeper look into the very show you're watching.
My name is Sophia Winkle, and today we'll be taking a look at Seneca Valley's news broadcast class.
My name's Maddie. I'm a junior. I've taken this class for 2 years, and I'm in 2 of Mr. McCoskey's classes. This year, I'm in this class, and then I'm in the animation and design class.
Okay, when I first was learning about this class, I wasn't super confident in taking it. I thought I was going to have to be on camera and stuff. But Mr. McCoskey told me a lot about it, and he convinced me to take it, and it's been a great class, and Mr. McCoskey is an awesome teacher.
My favorite thing about this class is getting to do a bunch of cool opportunities and meet new people.
My favorite part about this class personally is anchoring, because I love anchoring. I know anchoring's not for everyone, but basically anchoring is just talking and being on the show every week. I just love doing it because that's specifically what I want to do when I'm older. I want to be a reporter, a broadcaster.
My favorite thing about this class is the people in it and how we're all able to collaborate together and work together, and it's just a very welcoming environment.
I think my favorite part about this class is when it's show day and everyone has their own jobs, and we start filming. It feels like a little studio in here. It's really nice.
My favorite part about this class is how we're all kind of sort of like a community. We all love each other in some sort of way, and we can all in the shows we can express our creativity and how we want to do stuff if we're the leaders, directors of it. But at the same time, we can also have fun and stuff like that, get work done, have fun, giggle, laugh, and we're all kind of a big family.
I also like how everybody gets along, and there's also everybody has a place and a job here. Like Mason said, you can be on camera or behind camera, so really everybody has an interest and everybody has something they fit into here.
I think people should take, even though it's listed as broadcast journalism, it's good for any student, I feel like, that wants to be in the art, communication, and media field. Those producing, directing, camera, media, basically anything in that field is in this class. And there's so many things about this class that I thought I wouldn't like before taking this class. Producing and directing is one example that I was I didn't even know that was a real job before coming into this class. So I think it's a lot of great opportunities and new experiences for everyone.
Thanks, Seneca.
And for the last time ever, I'm Gavin Kress, and we'd like to thank you for watching the Seneca Scout. Again, we wish you could have gotten this show out to you sooner at its intended air date, but due to weather, that wasn't possible. For us seniors, it is our final Seneca Scout ever, and we'd like to thank you for tuning in not only this year, but for the past years. We'll be back next year to bring you more local, national, and international stories. From everyone here at the Seneca Scout, thank you.